What's up, Chris?
What's going on, Jay?
Another week
Uh,
down.
Another week down and all kinds of new stuff happening. Oh man! Welcome everyone to the e-commerce hour by On the Rocks. I'm Chris. He is Jay, and we're here to tell you all about all kinds of fun e-commerce things that are happening. Today, that's exactly what we're going to do. Like we're going to touch on all kinds of different e-commerce things that are happening. We Jay, we found an article. We's aggressive. Jay, you found an article that summarized 11 popular trends in e-commerce, um, and with the fact that by 2028, over $1 trillion worth of e-commerce revenue will come from social commerce,
Yeah,
feels like pretty relevant.
that's
So,
amazing.
right, that is a lot of social commerce.
Completely
Um,
driven by Gen Z, of course.
Yes, only exclusively. No one else could possibly do social commerce. So of course, if you're running like ad-heavy funnels and ignoring TikTok or live shopping, this episode should be a wake-up call for you. Although we're going to highlight a variety of different other things as well. First off, when we've talked about this, we've been talking about this since the beginning of the year as we highlighted trends for 2025. The rate of change in e-commerce is insane right now. Just last week, or maybe a week and a half ago, or whatever it was, Jay, we talked about how ChatGPT started to integrate ads. Saw my first one. I was really impressed by that. Of like, oh my gosh, it's real.
Did you
It's
make a
really real.
purchase?
I did not make a
Okay.
purchase, but I did click through, and it was not that easy. So there's room for improvement with this
Yeah.
actually, because it wasn't an outbound link. Um,
Really?
so that was an interesting thing, a thing for another
Mm.
episode, I bet. Not
Yeah.
maybe it'll come back up later. And so again, we're not just talking about channels; we're talking about customer experience overall, and not just really experience, but like how customers experience shopping. So not just the customer experience, but the like literal experience of shopping.
Yeah, it's a
And
full
this episode,
360-degree view of the
right?
shopping experience.
Right. And so today we're gonna break down the trends that matter. We're gonna highlight these different. There's 11 different things that we're gonna talk about today. Some of these will be things that we've talked about before, but that are continuing to see changes and improvements. And some of these are going to be uh, more interesting changes that have already come up that may be worth talking about more in the future. Jay and I will also talk a little bit about like what feels like noise, maybe what's maybe not as important, and then definitely we'll highlight, and this most importantly potentially, those things that you absolutely have to be on top of and be aware of as we continue through the second half of 2025.
Well, I definitely think that one of the first things we're going to talk about, we've talked about before, and
Yeah.
it's only getting stronger and stronger. So I'll let you run with it.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about four like main ideas, which is kind of funny because we had five like things to watch out for, and I think that these things they have a lot in common with those. So the first of those four themes is immersive shopping experiences. We've touched on this a whole bunch of different times, and so none of this stuff should come as a surprise if you're a common listener. But if you're not, welcome to the show, and immersive shopping experiences are the future, and they're on the way. One of those immersive shopping experiences is augmented reality. By the end of 2024, there were 1.7 billion devices that supported AR. That's a lot. That's a lot of different devices out there, and there are lots of different kinds of use cases, which is what makes augmented reality really appealing. So you could have a virtual try-on, like Warby Parker has done. You could have the furniture like in your house, like IKEA place, or you could have makeup filters like Sephora does. Right, there are lots of different ways that augmented reality can be really powerful to customers and improve the shopping experience because it leads to higher buyer confidence, it leads to fewer returns, and of course, if you've got like, hey, that product looks great on you, but don't forget about this other product that also looks great on you, you can potentially highlight or take advantage of higher average order value.
Yeah, suggestive complementary items is always a good thing to help it. AOV.
Yeah. Right, yeah, and so augmented reality, like I don't know how much it takes to like make it happen, right? I don't know how expensive it is, but I do know that it's extremely valuable for all of those reasons, right? If you are selling a product that the decision is made on like how it looks on you, augmented reality is really valuable, even if your products are relatively inexpensive. And as the technology continues to improve, just like with anything, right? Like TVs do, it gets less expensive and less expensive. So these may be tools to work with your marketing team to understand how much they know about these augmented reality options, or to just explore like separately. And I'm sure there are lots of different tools. I mean, I know there are. Snap AR, Shopify even has some AR integrations. Like there's lots of different tools that exist that can help you to facilitate that as an option for yourself. So
Yeah.
um,
I think now that Shopify has those integrations, that's telling you it's going mainstream at this point.
yeah,
You mentioned Warby Parker, IKEA, but I mean, it's been on Amazon for quite a while. Or you can imagine this device in your room, and
yeah.
a couple years ago, we ordered 2 nightstands for my daughter's room, and I wish we had that then because they came and they were like 6 inches tall.
Oh no.
Yeah. So it's like the picture showed it next to the bed and a full size bed and it came right
Oh
up to the
gosh.
top.
Yeah.
But in actuality, the product was like a third, well, less than a third the size. It was really
Wow.
funny. But if you could put that in AR, it'd help a lot.
Yeah, and that's a really good point too, Jay. Like we were just buying some shelving units for my daughter's bedroom for some toys, and I cannot tell you the amount of time that my wife and I spend like measuring and remeasuring and making
Yeah.
sure like things actually fit. But if we had an augmented reality option where we could just be like, "Hey, here's my wall. What's this look like on my wall?" Like, can you imagine? We would have saved so much time. This would have been
Yeah.
our experience would have been like fantastic, because we would have been able to just see what it looked like already.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is not just for those gigantic companies. There's a lot of options that can make this a really powerful tool going forward. And like you said, Jay, since it's clear, Amazon's already done it. Shopify is integrating AR. Like it's happening.
Yeah.
So it is where we're headed.
And there was a recent survey that said shoppers were 40% more opt to spend more if they could verify the purchase with AR and make sure it fits and matches and goes very well, either on their body or in their home. So,
Yeah.
take that to the bank.
Right, or with that pair of shoes or whatever.
Right,
Or,
exactly.
right, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I love it. I love it. The second thing, and we've talked about this like a million times around immersive shopping. Like literally, this is what we were talking about. AI for marketing and personalization is just getting better. It's continuing to improve, and AI writing tools specifically, just that market segment, is projected to hit 6.5 billion by 2030. Like, it's gigantic. This is ChatGPT for ad copy. This is email segmentation. This is Klaviyo's AI tools. This is product recommendation engines. Like the use cases for how you can utilize AI in personalization and marketing are like kind of boundless.
Yeah.
There are just all kinds of ways that you can personalize at scale. You can have 24/7 engagement. You can improve your campaign speed. Like there just are there. I This is an obvious thing that's coming, and it's a thing that if you're not doing it already, you're probably already behind.
Yeah.
So so I think that these types of tools, like using AI tools, particularly for marketing and personalization, are just like the like they can make a real difference, and they can make a real difference immediately in both your customer experience, but also in the workload that your team has, because they can significantly improve some of the work level, right? They can improve the quality of ad copy. They can help to incorporate your brand's like language, the voice of your brand, right into your ad copy without having to rely on someone and who may or may not like be skilled in that, right? There's lots and lots of value, I think, in the personalization aspects of AI for both marketing and that kind of design.
And the AI isn't only on the front end; it's on the back end too. It could do real time analysis of the testing, A/B testing of different pictures and different copy and different things like that, and giving you
Yeah.
real-time feedback as to how that's working, so that you could be modifying that on the go.
Right.
It's
Yeah, it's
amazing.
a huge value add. So
Yeah.
know that that is continuing to improve and continuing to be an area where you'll see personalized shopping improve. So again, that first idea was this immersive shopping experience and that hyper personalization that we've talked about on this show several times. The second one is a reminder of where people are shopping. So of course, like we mentioned at the beginning, social commerce is expected to exceed $1 trillion in 2028. And Jay, I don't know, it doesn't seem like 2028 is that close, but we're like already halfway through 2025. Like
Right.
2028 is not very far away.
It
Like
is not. Yeah.
you know those those platforms that are social commerce, that's TikTok shop, that's Instagram shops and their checkout, that's Facebook shop, like all of those types of things are that's $1 trillion is a lot of money.
Yeah.
And the conversion power of those tools, right? So the native checkouts that exist within those tools, plus the ability for those some of that to be active with live video, where you're doing whatever it is, right, Jay? You talked about this before, right?
Yeah.
You're trying on the haul you got, and right there on the live video, takes fewer clicks to buy, right? You just get to click right through. I love the
For
way that
sure.
T-shirt looks. That's exactly what I
Yeah.
need. That's what I've been looking for,
Shows off
right?
my abs.
Yeah, right. You're right, or doesn't,
Right.
uh, whichever you might be, right? And so that this ability to have that commerce be connected directly to the social activity that's already happening, and then for that activity to be frictionless, or like it's frictionless discovery. That person is already scrolling through this, right? They're
Yeah.
already watching that video, right? You didn't have to do anything for this to get into someone's feed. There's so much value in being able to do that versus like your traditional paid ad, right? And with that market space being $1 trillion, like this is a thing that you definitely need to be exploring. Um,
It's the old
Jay,
adage, hit the shoppers where they are, and they're on
that's right.
social. I mean, that's it.
That's right. Yeah, yeah, and that actually checks in too with this with the fourth topic, right? Which is live shopping. So I didn't know this, Jay, and this seems out of control. But in China, live shopping makes up 10% of total retail sales.
That's amazing.
That's a substantial portion. There are some platforms like TikTok Live, Amazon Live, which I've never heard of. Jay, have you used
Hmm.
Amazon Live or seen Amazon Live?
I've not used it, but I'm aware of it. Yes.
Yeah, and then a platform that I'm definitely not familiar with, which is called Whatnot. So I'll have to look into that one. But these brands have this opportunity using this live shopping to move inventory fast, right? So this can be flash sales where it's like, hey, during this video you can buy this thing, right? And it allows you to have this reach with user generated content, which again is often more powerful or can be more powerful than your traditional paid ad because you already know who you're seeing. And then also like underground or not underground user generated content plus creator like collaborations, right? Like there are ways to do this. And Jay, I think it'll be interesting to see like how live shopping continues to grow, because if it's 10% of total retail sales in China, then there's going to be some ways that maybe Shopify starts to dip into that market.
Yeah, for sure.
um,
You
and
know, there's many a day I'm scrolling through TikTok looking at my race results or race interviews or whatever, and next
yeah,
thing comes in a live TikTok shop ad.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
selling something, and a lot of times it's the screen monitors, the arms and the mounts,
Oh
and
yeah, sure.
whether it's that or the TV boxes or the cords. So they're all over there, and it's just normalized now. So you
Yeah,
expect to see it, and TikTok has done a great job of that.
yeah,
Just throw in there. We're about 60 days out from the next deadline on what is going to happen with TikTok, and it appears we don't hear anything for 90 days. Then one day we hear about it, and we're going to keep it alive, and just, it's like wash, rinse,
We're-
repeat with that cycle. But
yeah.
love to know where we're going with this. So we stop the uncertainty. There's just uncertainty everywhere in the e-commerce market today.
That just everywhere. And
Everywhere.
in one other area where there's uncertainty is what's happening with the influencer marketing. There has been this move from high cost macro influencing to niche trust based micro influencing, right? Where you're specifically targeting a group of people based on whoever that influencer may be. Where it becomes not so much about reach, right? Which is when that the macro idea, right? Getting the person with a huge following. That's top of funnel stuff, right? Where you're
Right.
trying to hit a bunch of people at once. But it's no longer as much about reach as it is about conversion, and what has become more important is rather than just like touching as many people as you can, it's converting as many people as you can. And so that will mean that there's uncertainty in what the smarter play is, micro influencing or like macro media buying. And I think that you'll continue to see uh, some balance that needs to be there between those, right? You can't just ignore your top of funnel because you do need that to be there. But you do need to have good levels of conversion, which does mean that the micro influencing is going to have value.
Yeah, it's going to come down to A/B testing that too, and seeing what is
Yeah,
working better for your company, your product, and your customers. And
right.
you got to run it at the same time, different audiences, and see what's working.
Yeah, absolutely, and you'll continue to see that is an uncertainty, right? That's an inherent uncertainty in
For
e-commerce.
sure.
Like you never know exactly which one's working, but it is it would of course just be another uncertainty to add to the pile.
Yes, for sure.
Our our third theme for today's show is changing consumer preferences. And so, Jay, I know that you alluded to this before, right? Gen Z's making all the purchases. They're doing everything as far as purchasing goes, right? Um, and that starts with, and it is one of the trends that we mentioned back before. It starts with sustainability and eco-conscious commerce, right?
Yep.
73% of our Gen Z globe mates say sustainability influences their purchase. And while I am not a Gen Z globe mate, it also influences my purchases. Some of my favorite brands are use sustainability stuff. I love Tropic Feel shoes, which their first original shoe was made from recycled plastic. That was the claim to fame of the shoe. That and its like super flexibility and quick drying capabilities, all that kind of stuff. Free ad. You're welcome, Tropical. Um, but it was just the sustainability aspect, right? This reuse, the shift to recycled packaging, to carbon offsetting, to this is a term I'd never heard before, but it totally makes sense in this aspect, and that's slow fashion. So instead of fast fashion, that is in today, out tomorrow, and super easy to make, slow fashion would be a little bit higher quality, lasts for a long time, that kind of thing. And and the example that we had here is Allbirds, which was the shoe I bought before I switched over to Tropic Feel, because Allbirds too, they have focused a lot on this sustainability idea. It is really important in those situations, right, to understand that there is going to be some balance between eco values and margin, right? You're going to have to give up a little bit if you want to be that sustainable brand, but you will be able to see that come back, I think, in that more exciting, more demand for that sustainable product. JD, what do you think about that one? What do you think about sustainability and eco consciousness? Is
Well,
that
I
something?
think I think a lot of companies are trying to lower their carbon footprint to make a
Right.
difference. I
Yep.
think it's important, and it's almost as important to a company as the bottom line, because they're making a
Yep.
difference, and by doing so, they are helping the environment. They're helping our children have better, longer lives, And that's what it comes down to. So
Yeah.
let's definitely support eco-friendly companies and
Yep.
help them rise
Right.
and do what
Absolutely.
they're doing.
Yep. And that dovetails very, very well into our seventh point of note, and that's secondhand e-commerce. And we've talked about this on this show lots of times because it has continued to come up several times. Because it's just the future, right? The U.S. resale market is expected to reach 70 billion. So that's 70 billion by 2027, and again, that's 2 years from now. So that's not very far away. And that resale market could mean things like ThreadUp or like Poshmark, or even just Facebook Marketplace, where you're taking that thing that, man, that those tables, they look so good in the picture. They really were going to fit my mood, but now I got a new duvet and they're just not the right color anymore. Or that I forgot to send them back. I forgot to return them on time because I had a limited return period, but I really don't need them anymore. That resale market. It gives you a lot of opportunity to be able to take advantage of some of those sustainability trends that we were already talking about. And there are brands like Patagonia who are launching their own resale sections,
Yeah.
and this is a thing that I mentioned. I know I mentioned on this show recently of like, this is an opportunity for you, because if you are able to show yourself as this eco conscious brand, right, rather than throw away your lightly worn jacket, right, you have this opportunity to turn it into a second revenue stream. And that maybe that says, as I was offering some options of, if you loved your first jacket but it's just not the right color for you anymore, right, buy another one and send the other one back. We'll give you a little discount, and then we'll be able to resell that one on our resale marketplace, right? There, I think there's a lot of opportunity in this space. And it's going to continue to grow as we go forward. Jay, what thoughts do you have about secondhand commerce?
So having a daughter that just finished her freshman year of college, there were many one-off events in high school.
Mm,
Homecoming 3 years, prom 3 years. That dress is worn once. She's not wearing it again.
yeah,
So you have plenty of opportunity for the secondhand sales opportunities,
yeah,
and whether it is using a marketplace or setting up your own marketplace to sell things like that.
right,
That's that was the originally eBay and Facebook Marketplace selling those items like that.
right,
There's many a time where my daughter would have taken some of the dresses into a local store, a consignment shop, or whatever.
sure,
Now it's larger than that because it's a global market. So
yeah,
take advantage of it. And if you own a clothing company, it's a perfect opportunity. You could buy it back, buy some of that stuff back, because we know that those trends in fashion recycle, they come back.
that's right, yeah,
So take advantage of it.
yeah, absolutely. Um, there's no question that I mean, $70 billion is a big market,
For
so
sure.
might as well take advantage of it. Another trend is a subscription based trend, and this is an interesting one. I know that my wife and I have lots of things that we're buying on subscription from Amazon. We also have a few different outside of Amazon things that we've recently started subscribing to, and that's and Jay, I think you'll appreciate this. We for the past few months have used the product Trade, which is a coffee subscription package where you
Nice.
get your coffee a couple times a month. And so what you're seeing in this space is exactly that, right? Less of the random box of stuff, right? Less of the, you're like, here's a bunch of dog toys, and more of like essential reorders with maybe some perks, right?
Yeah.
Which is this coffee, right? Like, I need my coffee in the morning. I got to get my coffee from somewhere. I get to the trade option, like, is narrowed down, like, help us to pick the right coffee for you, and
Yeah.
then they've executed on that, right? They've given us coffee that we've really enjoyed. And so that you're seeing that shift into this opportunity that reduces your client acquisition costs through this retention, right? Like, they don't have to acquire us again; they've
Right.
already acquired us, and these subscription style things are increasing our long term value, right? Like the customer value of these customers, right? So now we're cheaper to get, so the acquisition is cheaper, and the long term value is more. Right. This is these subscription models have long been the thing that you would love for your customers to do. You just have to find a way to do it effectively.
Yeah.
Companies like Dollar Shave Club are really good examples of this as well. Like they're maybe the one you would think of as the like global standard for subscription models, maybe. But I think you'll continue to see this be something that's valuable to companies that have a real orderable product. Jay, what do you think about subscriptions?
So I shaved today with my Dollar Shave Club utensils. Yeah, got that
Yep.
going. You mentioned coffee. I was part of a coffee subscription for a long time, and they put you in a rotation. They want to know what your tastes were, and you tell them,
Right.
and they would send you a number of different blends. And then when you got it, you let them know thumbs up, thumbs down, and what you liked, what you didn't like, and then they would modify it based on that. I thought it was great. But the problem came in when I found one blend that was so good, I just said, only send me that. And that was the best coffee ever. And I need to get some more of that because it's been a while. So definitely need to get back in there. That was a great option there. Yeah.
That's been the thing that we've liked about Trade as well, right? Is that we have that option. We can just purchase the one that we like. In addition, and it's funny that you say that, right? I think about also, we talked about this before. I used to get the beer box.
Yeah.
The beer box was the same thing, right? I got to pick the kinds and styles that I wanted. I got to review it. If I didn't want one of the ones that was the picked style, I could pick something else and replace it. And it's just that same kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right. And so we'll continue to see that subscription model trend continuing.
And it's not just food. Like my wife is in Stitch Fix, so she gets an outfit once a month, and she gets to keep it and pay a discounted price, or she can send it back or keep one item or whatever it happens to be.
Yeah.
And it's like wow, everything is good. It's amazing. Yeah. It's all good stuff that comes from it. It all looks so good.
Well, and then if you think about too, like the Amazon model of this, like those are things that you need. Like we get toilet paper on our Amazon subscription, dog food on the Amazon subscription, and it just helps to know this is a planning thing, right? There's that aspect of it is really valuable as well. So there's lots of good value in being able to build out the subscription model.
Yep, for sure.
The final thing, and Jay, again, shockingly, this is a thing that's come up on this show several times before, but it's the idea of frictionless infrastructure.
My favorite word, frictionless.
Yeah, frictionless. Yeah, we talk about it. It seems like every other week in some capacity, maybe even every week, and that starts with mobile first commerce. So it will be no surprise that mobile commerce accounts for 45% of all e-commerce sales. That isn't a shock. The thing that you'll continue to see is the focus on mobile user interface, right? That the user exchange, right? What it looks like, how fast it is. You'll see continued improvement to one-click checkouts, and in fact, those things, that speed, that user interface, and the one-click checkout, those are just going to be have-to-haves. And so those are again, it's very similar to what we were talking about before, where if you're not doing that, you're just going to fall behind. You're going to be like the dinosaur. There are going to be tools like ShopPay, like Google Pay, or Google even has some core vitals that can be helpful with this, right? The mobile design just isn't an option anymore. You have to have a great web page that's supported by mobile. That's just the world we're in now.
Yep.
Similarly, we're going to see a continued increase in quick commerce or Q-commerce. And Jay, I haven't really explored this much. This is not a thing that I care about that much. But there's an under 60-minute delivery demand, right? Even for these direct-to-consumer items.
Yeah.
And you've talked a lot about how your daughter is like this, where she just wants it now.
Yeah.
And there are so many consumers that do that. That's exactly right. You want to be able to use your time in the way you want and have the stuff you want right now. And that comes in the form of a lot of different things. That could be in the form of what we've talked about before, the mobile, multi-channel, where you buy it online, you go into the store and pick it up, and it's just a drop off on the way, right? Where you can pick it up really quickly. We've both done at Target before or Walmart. But it's also things like partnerships with Instacart or partnerships with Uber or Uber Direct, where smaller brands have this opportunity to offer same day or local delivery without the use of Amazon and without paying a lot of the fees that may go along with that. And so
Yeah.
we'll continue, I think, to see this idea of, and I can't remember exactly what the term was, Jay, but like the localized fulfillment,
Yeah.
where where you have your product in lots of different places that are able to be delivered with high speed, and
Yeah.
uh,
Exactly.
and and that's just going to continue to be a thing.
Yeah, we took
Um,
advantage of that last night. So,
yeah,
we were out of town. We got back, and yesterday jumped into work. Last night, fed the dog. Oh, we're out of dog food. So, jumped on the Walmart website and found
yeah.
the product. And of course, while we were gone, Abby wanted to make cookies, and the oven at the place we were burnt them twice. So she's like, when we get home, so I added that in the order for her, and
Nice.
it was there within 30 minutes.
It's amazing.
Walmart, $5,
Yeah, there you
30
go.
minutes.
Quick commerce.
And
Um,
the big thing was, it was a little later, and I was worried that the order might get dropped and the dog food wouldn't be delivered for the morning. So that's
yeah,
why, I went, and it was worth the $5 to know. I mean, it was there
yeah,
30
absolutely.
minutes.
Amazing.
No quicker than that.
Yeah, and that's the future, Jay.
For sure.
Before long, it'll be a drone dropping it off. Um, I know I haven't seen any news about the drones, but I know that they
No.
were still going. But
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll have to take a look at that.
For
And
sure.
the final one is a trend that we've talked about several times on this show, but typically in the old news section where we were highlighting these things happening in the news, but we haven't really talked a lot about what it really means. But the opportunity for payment flexibility is
Yeah.
just going to continue and continue to improve. Things like Apple Pay, things like Klarna and Afterpay, things like Shop Pay or PayPal credits, like this buy now pay later option, or the ability to improve the frictionless payment strategies that we've already talked about. The buy now pay later is expected to reach $744 billion in volume by 2029. And again, we're talking about years in the future, but that's not like very many years. 2029 is just right around the corner, and that's almost $1 trillion worth of volume on buy now pay later. And so that means that there's things that you need to ensure that your website has, and that the partners that you're partnering with support as well. And that the buy now pay later options, this payment flexibility allows for reduces in cart abandonment, reductions, I guess, in cart abandonment. It's also useful in an inflation economy, right? You can buy it
For
now.
sure.
In 6 months, you're going to have to pay 15% more, or if it's coming from China, maybe 150% more. So there's a lot of value in the opportunity of in allowing your customer these buy now pay later options, and as we talked about for previously. In the worldwide economy, especially in those growing markets, the ability to pay with different tools or different options of pay is also going to be important, because some of that may allow you to reach into markets where you weren't able to reach into before. And so these will continue to be trends that we see, this ability to pay flexibly, both in how you can pay, so what tool you can use, but also when you can pay. Both of those things are going to continue to be really important, to both protect yourself with these buy now pay later offerings, but also to continue to grow as you have other markets that you're exploring. And so that was 11 different trends that are happening in e-commerce, and that we're continuing to see. Jay, if you think about what people should do, right? I think the best thing to consider is what your brand is and what your brand's offerings are, and pick a few of these things to explore. It's definitely really important that you're not behind these trends, and if you aren't already testing them, you need to start. And that can be augmented reality. That could be partnering with Afterpay. Like, there are lots of different options and lots of different ways to get started. Jay, do you have a favorite one that you think people would be easy adoption?
I think the easiest one is the payment flexibility,
Sure.
because it's pretty much a checkbox in Shopify or on your platform.
Yeah.
And, you could do it immediately. There's no set up like with augmented reality, where you might have to do some setup and load some product info about your products. But
Right.
this is something that could be implemented today, right now, and 20 minutes from now, it'd be used on your website. So that's where
That's
I would
right.
start. We were talking about that too, and you mentioned Afterpay. There are industries that you never thought would have buy now, pay later that are loading Afterpay into it now. And I can't remember it, but there was a news article last week, and I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, that is interesting. I did not think that product would fit that. But you know what? It's across the board now. Everything is going with buy now, pay later. So
Yeah.
embrace it.
Yep, absolutely. And remember, while these are trends and things that are happening, they're things that are here to stay. And by being adoptive of these, you're staying ahead, you're improving your profit margins, and you're also improving your customer retention. So make sure that you start to lean into these things. If you've already done that and you've got a success story, make sure to leave that in the comments. Let us see about what you've done. Um, and as always, know that we'll be right back here to talk about maybe these trends again, or whatever new trend comes up between now and next week on the e-commerce hour. Thank you for taking time to spend with us. We know you have a busy day at Southwest Line, right? We we know there's lots of shows out there that you can watch, and we're glad that you chose ours today. I'm Chris. He's Jay. We'll be here next week. Thank you, everyone,
Thank you,
for
everybody.
joining
Have
the
a great
e-commerce
week.
hour.
Bye.
Bye.